Over the years, as many of you will know, gentlemen, Leslie Sarony has become the star attraction at the Vaudeville Golfing Society dinners. And all over those years, he's written lots of marvellous parodies and performed them, and lots of marvellous original compositions, none of which have ever been heard outside those hallowed walls, gentlemen. But tonight we're going to change all that. We have an orchestra, we have an audience, and most important of the lot, we have the man himself. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the Noel Coward of Streatham, Mr. Leslie Sarony!
Hi, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell you a fairy story. This is all about 3 bears. Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear. It was Christmas time. They'd all been given a present. Papa Bear, he'd been given a bottle of whiskey. Mama Bear, she'd been given a nice tin of baked beans. And Baby Bear, he'd been given one of Frankie Vaughan's records. Well, it was a lovely, crisp winter's afternoon, so they thought they'd go for a walk. This they did. On returning and entering the house, Papa Bear looked round and he said, "And who's had my bottle of whiskey?" And Mama Bear said, "And who's had my tin of baked beans?" And Baby Bear said, "And who's had my Frankie Vaughan record?" A little mouse popped out of a hole in the floor and said, "Give me the moonlight." Now, I think I'm right in saying that most people are fond of a little puppy dog. And I'm going to give you a monologue, and it's all about a very cheeky little puppy dog, and he was known as Piddling Pete. As he trotted up the road, it was beautiful to see. His work on every corner, his work on every tree. He watered every gateway, he never missed a post. For piddling was his masterpiece, yes, piddling was his boast. The city dogs stood looking on with deep and angry rage to see this simple country dog, the piddler of his age. They smelt him over one by one, their praise for him was high. But when one smelt him underneath, Pete piddled in his eye. Then just to show the other dogs he didn't give a damn, he walked into the grocer's shop and piddled on the ham. He piddled on the onions, piddled on the floor. When the grocer kicked his arse, he piddled on the door. Behind him, all the city dogs debated what to do. So they held a piddling carnival to see the stranger through. They showed him all the piddling points they knew around the town, then all set off with many winks to wear the stranger down. But Pete was there with every trick, with vigour and with vim. For 1,000 piddles more or less were all the same to him. Yes, on and on went noble Pete, his hind leg kicking high, while most of them raised legs in bluff and piddled in the sky. Yes, on and on went gallant Pete. He watered every sandhill, till all the city champions were watered to a standstill. Then Pete an exhibition gave on all the ways to piddle, like double drips and fancy flips, and then a little dribble. And that lady Barbara Woodhouse, he took her down a peg For when she did the walkies, Pete piddled on her leg. To them, Pete's piddling reservoir remained a mystery. But on the day, young Pete, they say, created prehistory. Now then, I'm going to give you a song. It's quite a nice little thing. Yeah, it is really. And it tells a story. It's all about a snake. Thank you. A rich little snake in a grass pit did lie. It was full of contentment and bliss. When the poor snake, the child of a neighbour nearby, said, "With you may I come and hiss?" And "Shh," said the snake in the grass. "Shh, you are very low class. To mix with a highbrow like me you're not fit, and I won't let you hiss in my pit." Rich snake said, "You, a mere adder, don't count. My dislike for your family's profound. You keep multiplying, your numbers they mount. There are too many of you around." And "Shh," said the snake in the grass. "Shh, you are very low class, so you can hiss off. I don't like you a bit, and I won't let you hiss in my pit." Dramatic. The poor snake's mama, when she heard, she said, "Oh, here's a missus, you take that young man in." And the note read, "Why, I knew your folks long ago. When they hadn't a thing they could fit in." Now, I've got another nice little song that you might like to join me in. It's all about a North Country lad who quarrelled with his girlfriend on Christmas Day. Thank you. A North Country lad and his lassie quarrelled one Christmas Day. But before the evening was out, that lad to his lassie did say, "Oh, kiss me as you used to do under the mistletoe bough. Kiss me as you used to do, kiss me right on the brow. Ding dong, time for going home now. So kiss me as you used to do under the mistletoe bough. All together now, kiss me as you used to do under the mistletoe bough. Kiss me as you used to do, kiss me right on the brow. Ding dong, time for going home now. So kiss me as you used to do under the mistletoe bough." Now, this is a very nice little song. You probably recognize it. It was out of a beautiful musical comedy. It's called "Surrey with the Fringe." the tale of my dear little sister. She is a tart and the men can't resist her. If you want to know what it is that she has that makes the traffic stop, it's her pretty little fanny with the fringe on the top. Down in a nightclub where she is a stripper, every night she undoes a zipper, flashes a tit at the men as they sit, but then the axe flop till she shows a little fanny with the fringe on the top. On a Saturday night, it's hell's delight when they all get together. Doesn't wear a thing but an old G-string in case there's a change in the weather. One fella there known as Big Diamond Brady said she's a wow, get a drink for the lady. Champagne was brought and they opened the bottle and the cork went and she caught it in her fanny with the fringe on the top. Encore they call when she shows them all her impression of a one-armed bandit. Opens her twat, puts a shell in the slot, says £5 worth would expand it. She's worked there for years, stuffing things up her fanny, and with her tricks she's become very canny. Next cabaret will be held, so they say, not in the usual spot, but in her great big fanny, enormous fanny, a gritty old minge with the fringe on the top. Well, now, I'll give another little song that you can probably join in. It's, thank you, why do I get... Da, 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 da. Now I'm such a twat when I go out, especially with my pelf. I wake up each morn feeling very forlorn and reluctantly say to myself, oh, why do I get so horribly pissed? Horribly pissed, horribly pissed. My wife at me, she hissed. Why do you get so horribly pissed? La, la, la. Away on holiday, also by the sea. I went on the pier, I went on the pier, and fell arse over tip in the sea. Oh, why do you get so horribly pissed? Horribly pissed, horribly pissed. My friends at me, they hissed. Why do you get so horribly pissed? La, 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 la. I met a smashing blonde one day, a lovely piece of birth. The evening wore on and her knickers wore off, but I couldn't stand up to me work. Oh, why do I get so horribly pissed? Horribly pissed, horribly pissed. That bird at me, she hissed. Why do you get so horribly pissed? La, 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 la. to see a show one day at one of Moss's halls. I'd had lots of bass, and it filled me with gas. When I farted, I cleared all the stalls. Oh, why do I get so horribly pissed? Horribly pissed, horribly pissed. My wife at me, she hissed. Why do you get so horribly pissed? Now then, I'm going to give you another one that you might recognize. Can we ever go? A brewer's best friend is a pisshole. A brewer's best friend is a drain. The customers use it to empty their bladders, then go back and fill up again. A brewer's best friend is a pisshole, and thereby their profit it hangs. For the foam that they get in a pisshole, they sell it for making meringues. Well, now I think it's Anna. Now there's a girl, a great big girl, and all who've ever seen her, they know she's very fond of Dick, and no one could be keener. When she was young, she let someone go up her for a tanner. She liked it so that ever since they called her Easy Anna. Easy Anna, Easy Anna. She liked Roger in and oh, how she wags her jacksie. Easy Anna, Easy Anna. She's the grandest poke I know. Commander Trestial said to her, Easy Anna. Puff the Burke I much prefer. Easy Anna. It's through men like you, said she. Easy Anna. The poke is gone to buggery. Easy Anna. Easy Anna. Easy Anna. Down where the watermelons grow, and she wags her jacksie. Easy Anna. Easy Anna. She's the grandest girl I know. Now who's had every kind of dick? Easy Anna. Big ones, small ones, thin and thick. Easy Anna. Who goes down and plates her boss? Easy Anna. Says it's jugs like candy floss. Easy Anna. Easy Anna. Easy Anna. She likes Roger in and oh, how she wags her jacksie. Easy Anna. Easy Anna. She's the grandest poke I know. Now who fell in the family way? Easy Anna. The kid was born with a beard of grey. Easy Anna. She said, what you want, you little runt? Easy Anna. And the baby cried, I want some cunt. Easy Anna. Easy Anna. She liked Roger in a oh, how she wags her jacksie. Easy Anna. Easy Anna. She's the grandest poke I know. There was a Jewish tailor, and he'd had a customer for 40 years, and this customer was out one night, And this also a Jewish customer, and he rang him up, and he said, "Baby," he said, "I had to ring you. I had to ring you." He said, "You know, I know you've been my tailor for 40 years, but he said, I had to ring you because last night I took your daughter out, and she was very nice. And I'm going to tell you, it's the first time in 40 years that you made something to fit me." There's the weak fart, the sneak fart, the one that turns corners, or freak fart, the long fart, the strong fart, the heavyweight He-Man King Kong fart, the short fart, the taut fart, the Isle of Brandy and Port fart. The neat fart, the sweet fart, there's something wet under the seat fart, the low fart, the slow fart, the I don't think I want to go fart. There's the club fart, the pub fart, the push it out quickly or stub fart. There's the cold fart, the bold fart, the under the water or roll fart. There's the high fart, the sly fart, the 2 weeks on matzahs or dry fart. There's the blue fart, the stew fart, the shattering loose follow-through fart. The gay fart, the stray fart, you drop it and then walk away fart. The squire fart, the dire fart, your arse feels as if it's on fire fart. The cruise fart, the booze fart, the bend down to do up your shoes fart, the bleat fart, repeat fart, you do as you walk up the street fart, the curt fart, the spurt fart, that's buggered another clean shirt fart. Frail fart, the stale fart, the Barclays and Perkins 4-ale fart, the lame fart, the shame fart, the wife drops and you take the blame fart. Then there's the rare fart, the snare fart, that everyone there gets a share fart. The trite fart, the slight fart, that ruins your honeymoon night fart. There's the dead fart, the bed fart, the pull the clothes over your head fart. Now, I've given you fartology, you rotten lot of elves. So all go home and practice, and I hope you shit yourselves. I was the cunt of the party. I was the twat of the lot. I made the people laugh hearty when I blew some air through my butt. I took a bird to a party. She swore she was pure as could be, but I was the cunt of the party, 'cause everyone fucked her bar me. They say very hot am I at games when I start. On my prowess they make lots of calls. A very good shot am I when I throw a dart. I can pinion a gnat by its balls. Though no intellectual, I find ineffectual some games that they play with the ball. And cold soccer leaves me, in fact it quite grieves me, but there's one game I recall, it is the best of pulling your pud. Nothing quite like it or doing you good. Its one great advantage is well understood. You can have who you like when you're pulling your pud. Pulling your pud. Nothing quite like it for doing you good. And if you feel lonely, though you never should, you can look in the mirror while pulling your pud. Pulling your pud. I dreamt that I died as a good wanker should. In my coffin I stayed with my prick still unstood. But they got the lid on by pulling my And now, I'll give you a nice little little monologue called Breakfast Table Manners. The gong had been sounded for breakfast by the butler so stately and stout. Ma came down with the chambers to empty, and Pa with his prick hanging out. Ma said grace with a mouthful of meat. Pa said amen with a grunt. And Hector, the youngest, just feeling his feet, turned a tea cosy into a cunt. You're behaving quite nicely, said Father. Though it's hardly my custom to boast. Nicely be buggered, said Tommy, as he tossed himself off on the toast. Percy, he pissed in the porridge. And John blew his nose on the jam. And Sebastian, not to be beaten, promptly wiped his arse on the ham. Now the meal's over, said Father. Call the maids to remove all the ruck. And just as a token of goodwill to all, let us shit in the passage for luck. On Mother Kelly's doorstep, down Paradise Road, there's There's a dirty old cow by the name of Flo. She's got a hole in her stocking, a hole in her ass, a hole in the knickers where the pricks all pass. She's got a wart upon her belly, on Mother Kelly's doorstep. That dirty old Jane took down her drawers and began to strain. And then a fart was heard, and she dropped a great big turd on Mother Kelly's doorstep down Paradise Road. My John Thomas is burning, my poor bollocks keep churning, giving me hell, starting to swell, side by side. When I get a hard on, it's murder, just like a bloody steel girder. A medical chap said it's the clap through some ride. But that isn't all, sir, that dirty rotten bitch. She also caused my balls, sir, to itch and itch and itch. So when they started to tingle, I gave the buggers a shingle. There were 2 scabs and a couple of crabs, side by side. When little crabs crawl all over my ball, I hurry for my blue ointment. When the little sods bite the whole of the night, I clamour for my blue ointment. They seem to think my back's a greyhound track for them to play, a hairy patch where I've to scratch the livelong day. There's thousands on me, and baby's got 3, but I'll fuck 'em with my new ointment. Declare the feeling I've got gives me inward despair. I certainly seem to be getting the air. There, I've done it again. Oh, what more can I say? I'm sorry, your pardon, I feel I must pray. But baked beans, they always affect me this way. There, I've done it again. Oh, it's hard to condone it, and I'll frankly own it. Each time my butt goes blue, I've got a notion that I passed a motion. Last time I blew, I followed through. Things have come to a pass. My outlook on life is becoming a farce. You might think I've got a bassoon up my arse. There, I've done it again. I think it's time we had a little bit of Irish now. Thank you. Hudd to fill the flute from the Tulla Valley muck. He was feeling rather fruity and he tortured like a fuck. So he sent an invitation to the women one and all, and said he'd like to do 'em all from Cork to Donegal. And the girls that night, they were finding their affinities. He did them in the passages and even on the floor. Some got tight and were losing their virginities. He even had the batter at the double-weighted whore. He debuted of a flute with some gristle in the middle. He was bumping up and down like a herring on a griddle. In, out, up and down for more he made a call. Because Mrs. Rafferty is going to fuck us all. Well, you know, being a bit cold, it reminded me that these winter, you know, these kids, they get so bloody cheeky. As far back as September, a snotty-nosed kid came up to me and said, penny for the guy, sir? I said, fuck the guy. He said, that'll be a shilling. There's a man, getting on he is. He was seated in a cinema with his wife, and his wife complained of a bad odour. And said, I'm sorry, man. Yeah. Anyway, went on. And it seemed to get worse. So eventually his wife turned round and she said, Horace, have you passed wind? He said, no. Well, she said, it's getting appalling. So he turned to the fellow next door to him. He said, excuse me, old man, but he said, my wife's complaining about a terrible odour. He said, have you farted? He said, no. He said, are you sure? He said, certain. Well, he said, have you shit yourself? He said, yes. Well, he said, would you mind moving up? He said, I can't. He said, why? He said, I haven't finished yet. I met a lovely piece of work. Sing, brother, sing. Soon on her I got to work. Sing, brother, sing. I knew what Java I had got. I stuck my finger in a honey pot and she wriggled her arse till the ground grew hot. So sing, brother, sing. I poked her once, I poked her twice. Sing, brother, sing. She said it was very nice. Sing, brother, sing. I said I was a jockey and my name was Bert. She said got a tip, so I raised her skirt. And I said back scuttle, it's a race insert. So sing, brother, sing. Then I met her sister Anne. Sing, brother, sing. Quickly I was at her van. Sing, brother, sing. Down my Hampton then she blew. Said, is there anything else to do? So I stuck it up her arse and she went, whoo! Sing, brother, sing. Then the mother, she came in. Sing, brother, sing. Said, on you may I begin. Sing, brother, sing. My shagging days are done, I'm told. The tits are flat and my arse is cold, but I can gobble like a 2-year-old. Sing, brother, sing. Then Then she said, now meet my son, sing, brother, sing. He likes to join in all the fun, sing, brother, sing. He was a puff that I could see, I farted inadvertently, and he said, I hear you calling me, so sing, brother, sing. Then I said, now I must go, sing, brother, sing. But the first girl rose and said, oh no, sing, brother, sing. Oh, one more charver, she was bent. The old John Thomas was limp and spent, but she put it in a splint and away we went to sing, brother, sing. She said, I enjoy that ride, sing, brother, sing. Your dick's the best I've ever tried, sing, brother, sing. I said, I must be fair with you, I've got crabs and syphilis too. They said, we've all got it too, so sing, brother, sing. Sing, brothers, sing. There was a fellow, he was going abroad, he was going to Hong Kong, as a matter of fact, and he was so fond of his crumpet that if he could have found one air-conditioned, he'd live in it. Anyway, his pals told him, so you're going to Hong Kong, and said, we'll give you an address, and you must go, you must call on this dame, because she's renowned. She specialises in what she calls the hurricane fuck. So he couldn't wait to go to the hotel. He went straight to this place, rang the bell, and this Chinese girl answered it. She said, "Yes?" He said, is this where I come for the hurricane fuck? She said, hurricane fuck, come in. So she took him in, and she said, get on the bed, sleep. And she went into behind the curtain, and she came out, bollock naked, and she got astride of him, and she pissed on his face. And he said, what's that? Oh, she said, that's the lane from the Hurricane. Then she got a bit further down. And she got astride of him, and she shut all over him. He said, stone the bloody crows. He said, what's that? Oh, she said, that's the mud from the hurricane. Oh, well, he says, I'm pissing off. She said, what for? He said, I can't fuck in this weather. This is the old favourite, thank you. My John was up, her drawers were down, her fanny was all bare. I murmured as I stroked the hair, there's beautiful Berkeley all round there. As she lay down, her legs apart, I simply had to stare. I murmured as I looked inside, there's plenty of Berkeley all round there. And when she said she liked a 12-inch tool as a fool or a mule, and when I said mine only measures half, she replied, don't make me laugh. I put it in and stirred it round. I seemed to be poking the air. My Dick to me said, I can see there's oceans of Berkeley all round there. She tits like soldiers' ration bags. My God, what a swinging pair. Her nipples too were black and blue, where many a man had hung on there. She let a fart, her teeth fell out. 'Twas such a romantic affair. She caught her fanny on a nail, but never a sign of any tear. She said, though I'm a lady of the town, my charge is only £0.50, and my position they have gained renown, sideways, front, or upside down. The wealth was gone. 'Twas like the cave that caused poor Aladdin despair. So I put in a biscuit tin, and that is what made her Berkeley Square. Thanks for the memory of ladies I have kissed, of easy butts I've missed, of nights like this when everyone gets well and truly pissed. How lovely they are. Thanks for the memory of clubs I've tried to smash, of going to have a slash with those who have big Hamptons which they seem to like to flash. How lovely they are. All of our golfing members, with pride they always call and win. Their etiquette one remembers, for instead of 4, fuck off they roar. And thanks for the memory that Sunningdale recalls, the ruck that so appalls, where I finished up a eunuch, one big bag, no bloody balls. I thank you so much.